When we talk about domestic violence between landlords and tenants, it can take different forms depending on the situation. Even though the term domestic violence usually refers to abuse within families or intimate relationships, some cases involving landlords and tenants can look very similar to abuse. The abuse dynamics, especially when power, control, or intimidation is used. Here are some of the angles to understand it better. Number one, forms of abuse. Landlords may inflict on their tenants harassment and threats, using threats of eviction or violence to intimidate tenants. Sexual exploitation, demanding sexual favors in exchange for rent or to avoid eviction, sometimes called sex for rent. Physical violence, direct assault when dispute arises. Psychological abuse, constant verbal abuse, humiliation or invasion of privacy, entering homes without consent. Let's look at number two. When tenants abuse landlord, physical attacks during rent or eviction disputes, property damage as a form of retaliation, threats and harassment, targeting landlords personally or their families. Let's look at number three now, why it's often hidden. Many tenants fear eviction, so they keep silent. Landlords may also avoid reporting abusive tenants for fear of prolonged legal processes. Most times, when we hear the word domestic violence, our minds go straight to families or intimate partners. But there's another form that often goes unnoticed: violence between landlords and tenants. This happens when power, fear, and control enter into the landlord-tenant relationships. For example, some landlords harass or threaten tenants, use intimidation to collect rent, or even demand sexual favors to allow someone remain in their home. That's abuse. On the other hand, there are cases where tenants turn violent against landlords, attacking them during disputes, damaging properties, or issuing threats. In both cases, it is more than just a disagreement about rent. It becomes harassment, intimidation, and in some cases, physical or sexual abuse or violence. The impact is devastating. People live in fear, homes feel unsafe, and in many situations, victims are too scared to speak up because they don't want to lose their shelter. But here's the truth: no one should face violence in the place they call home. Both landlords and tenants have legal rights, and abuse of any kind should be reported and addressed. Safe housing should never come at the cost of dignity, safety, or peace of mind. This is a reminder that domestic violence is not only about family, it's also about power and abuse in every corner of our society. My name is Shedrack Worth. Please don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Please subscribe, please like, share. Bye for now. When we talk about domestic violence between landlords and tenants, it can take different forms depending on the situation. Even though the term domestic violence usually refers to abuse within families or intimate relationships, some cases involving landlords and tenants can look very similar to abuse. The abuse dynamics, especially when power, control, or intimidation is used. At Quit Violence International, we commit to amplifying survivors' voices, mobilizing support, and pushing systems to do better. If you or someone you know is in danger, please contact your local domestic violence hotline. Share this video, talk about it, advocate in your community. We owe it to Brayson and countless others to move from tragedy to transformation. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and keep the conversation alive. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Bye for now.